Hey everybody, Edo here, and this week's video is interesting because I've been posting a number of board game centric spreadsheets, and somebody messaged me on Facebook saying that they used my Kickstarter project or product sheet for their home budget. And I was like, what? Why don't you use my home budget sheet? And so mentally what I'm thinking is you certainly should not be running a Kickstarter unless you have a clear understanding of your own personal budgets. So we're going to flip the screen around and take a look at a family budget. All right, so here is a mock family budget. You'll notice that I have May, June, July, August. I like to have a number of months in, but having a full year seems like a lot. You can always add rows if you want to, do less. You can do a single. You can make ones by groupings of 4, whatever you want. To start, you'll go to File and make a copy. That's how you can make your own version of this template. I will not be giving anyone edit access, and this is all just made up information, but it should give you an idea. So really, we're just going to be focusing on one piece here, and then it'll roll forward and roll through. To start, you're going to want to have, there's an estimated and actual. So this is a big difference, I think, than many other budgets. Or the project stuff in that, I guess I use estimate in some of them, but here really when I'm thinking about a family budget, I'm thinking about something you're trying to maintain and work towards and ensure you're hitting. So having your target or your estimated and then having what your actual is really important, and it's really important to look at over time. So like for a family budget, I just can't emphasize enough. It's about thinking about how much money you have, how much money you are spending, and being critical about how you could be saving more money. Important note, this budget does not have a big amount of savings in it. You'll notice that it's actually, things are getting expensive these days. A lot of people struggle to make ends meet on a month-to-month basis, but ideally you're thinking about saving. You're thinking about taking extra money and putting it aside. This doesn't even have that concept in it. You could certainly add an area for savings, but right now it doesn't. So coming in, you'll have an estimated starting balance. This is really easy. Go look at how much money you have and put a number here. I started with 5,000. And then you're going to have an estimated ending balance, and your estimated ending balance is going to come out of all your estimates. I'll talk about that. That this is income less expenses. Here, right? So it's what you have plus your income less what you spent. So in this case, what the estimate here is, I come out net $204. You then will have your actual number here. This is a starting number. So like for the first time you do this budget, these are probably the same, right? Because you know what you have. Later on, these estimates are more appropriate, but like your starting balance is going to be what your starting balance. This is starting in May. You could do it mid-month. I think having monthly budgets are healthy and helpful. Okay, so income. Your income line comes from this table here. Now, everyone gets paid differently in different amounts. Maybe you get paid weekly, once a month. Maybe you have a bunch of odd jobs. Everyone has their own system. I also find there's oftentimes some extra money you get for one reason or another. Maybe you do some freelancing. This is sort of built like, hey, this person has a salary. They're getting paid bi-monthly, and this is like on the 15th and the 30th, and then maybe there's some other money here. Couple notes here. One, this is your take home. So you're probably not getting a 2,000 take home, but at 4,000 take home a month, I don't know what that puts you at, like a $60,000 a year salary, something like that. It depends, I guess, on your deductions and whatever, but this is how much you get. And like, you're always going to have that paycheck that falls like on the 1st of the month or the 30th. And you're gonna be like, which month does it go into? Just pick one, and just be consistent. You basically are getting this much amount per month in 2 tranches. So your actual should be pretty straightforward. You're going to get the same amount each. This is where it depends on if you're hourly or not. But generally, if you're getting paid regularly for a salaried position, this is going to be close. But usually it's not exact. Like maybe this is 2012-37. If it never fluctuates, I'll go through and I'll update this to be that actual number because I know that's what it's going to be every month. If like sometimes it's, this has to do with taxes or some other, like sometimes you get like little expenses. I don't know. If this fluctuates, you just do an estimate. Again, you might be in a situation where you get paid by if you're doing delivery services or something. You might be getting tips and otherwise, and this could fluctuate more. Make it your own. The whole point here is make it your own. You want it to be somewhat accurate to what you expect you're going to make. Don't fool yourself. Like, what you think is your average, if you don't know it. And hopefully, if you don't have this information, by the time you get 3 months out or 4 months out of using this, you will. That's why you want to keep looking at it month over month rather than just one. I really do like to reinforce that you're trying to build prediction here. But if, these sheets are really easy, you want to always check formulas, but you should be able to just add rows if you need to do that. Okay, so as it comes in, you're going to put your actual dollars in here. And this will start filling in above. So this actual is adding up what's in here. So again, 2,000, 21.50, whatever, and then maybe $50 or something. Hey, there you go. That's up there, right? Cool. Now, so that's your income. That's how much money you're making. And now there's expenses. So this line here is this line. And this line is adding up these different categories. It adds up this, the sum categories in blue, which I'll talk about, and then this other expense in orange. So I'm going to make these italics. Those don't go into there directly. I mean, the numbers you put there will, but they actually don't, they're not getting added into that total, which is important to remember. Again, whenever you're looking at this stuff, check your formulas. Just make sure I didn't mess up, you didn't mess up. If anyone finds a mistake, I'd love to fix it before other people get it, that kind of thing. So here's how I think of it. And did I misspell essential? Essential. No, I didn't. Just looks weird. Maybe I misspelled it. I don't know. If I did, let me know. So this is where I like to keep the things that realistically, you're never not going to have. They're usually pretty consistent. These are reoccurring, just like these typically, but they you're never going to easily get out of this. So you have your mortgage. I like to put the date over time. It comes in. That's what these numbers are. But you have your mortgage, your PG&E, which is electricity. I'm in California. Water in Mountain View. Your HOA, if you're in, depends on what kind of place you're in. Maybe you don't have an HOA. If we're in a townhouse. Your internet, Comcast could be Xfinity or whatever internet. Your phone, what your phone bill is. Your car payment. My car, I think, where it's 9 years old or something, but it's paid off. So this is zero for us, but you might have car payments and then car insurance, whatever that is. I think out of all these numbers, I think the car insurance number might be actually what my car insurance is. I don't remember. But so these are numbers that really your mortgage should not be changing month over month. I guess maybe I don't want to say whether your electricity will, your water may, your HOA probably doesn't, though ours gets hiked up every year. Your Sprint, depending on your Sprint bill, may change. But again, what you're trying to do is do the best approximation of what that final number is, and then if you're over and under, you get to watch it. I'll actually color code as I go. If something's if this is way more like that, I'll probably go in and independently make it orange to be hey, what happened there? I try to know as I go through this when I'm above and when I'm below, so that when I start each month, I go here. So at the beginning of each month, you review and look at the previous month, that kind of thing. And you can, if you don't know this information offhand, you just go to your credit card statement and your bank account and just look at the last 30 days or 60 days, and it should all actually fill in itself from the last month. Okay, so reoccurring expenses are similar to the only difference between these and the one above is that these, you could cancel. Do you need a gym membership, or do you, are you going to still take schooling, or maybe night school's not. I don't know what, I started making. Netflix is here twice. Maybe this isn't Nextbook. This is HBO Max. Whatever, whatever you like, or maybe you're cutting the cord more. Maybe you have a cable bill, right? But perhaps, whether or not these are essential, I don't know. I think it's important to. These to me feel like they're different than these, and you may find that when you look at this, you've got 10 more that I didn't list, and actually it's turning into a big number. But so these all get added up and added, and so these also typically aren't going to change much. It's more yep, still paying, I don't know, still paying, whatever. Maybe this fluctuates a little and this was a little less, right? And it's getting added up here. Same deal. Great. Boink, boink. Okay. So this is an interesting thing when I think of the gas goal, and this is I handle this differently. So, I think about how much gas costs, how many times basically it comes down to how many times you fill your tank a month. Be like, okay, I fill my tank 4 times a month, and normally it's 30, but now it's like 50. So I don't know, like, well, maybe this should be 150, right? Once you do the math, depends on your car. But what I'll actually do on these is, rather than this is going to be multiple sums. So you put equal, and then you start adding in numbers. So like I went, this will be 32.20, and then you hit a plus. The second time I went is 29.15, and like you can spend time to make these like really clear and say like where you got it, and like, but just generally, like, I know this is me adding up gas, and I know each one of these represents a trip to the gas station, and so for me this is just seeing it all add up and getting to that final number. So this is actually a compound one. Also with a household goal, these are like toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrush, like, I don't know, things that aren't food, aren't reoccurring, but aren't like, just like you're always going to buy some of it. Same sort of thing, went to Target, whatever, 52. I forgot the equal. You want to always have the equal first. Equals 52.20, and then, and so sometimes I'll split things out. Like we'll go to Walmart or Target or whatever and be like, okay, we spent $30 on this and $20 on food or whatever. Like I think you can be quick about it and just do simple splits, but I will say it's helpful to have the actual number, because if you forget what it was, seeing the like 52.20 makes it really easy to find. But whatever, this, and we're just going and adding it up. And that's what that is. So these are special in that they equal something. Like I'm adding it up. I'm going to do the same thing here. So food goal, I find the food goal is like one of the biggest important numbers, and they go up and down. But like, how many times are you going to go out and eat, and what's your budget? And how many times are you going to go to grocery? When my family has been really budget conscious, sometimes we'll even take out the money, so that like we'll have a going out envelope with $250 in it. And so that makes a very, like, for going out and grocery, that can become a really very tangible way to think of your budget that I think is super helpful. So here I would even, consider cashing it out. I mean, different people have different comfort levels, but I find that to be a really good way to be like, do we really want to spend the last $200 on this dinner or something else? Depends on how you feel. Having cash is weird. But here's another place where, go to the grocery, and now this is like 210. We'll put the equal in again, 210 and 12 or whatever, and then we go again, and then maybe we go to Costco, and there's that, right? And suddenly we're over, right? So here, this now is going into food, which is coming up here. So this food goal, and so like then we go out, and it's like, $20 for something small and quick, and then there was like a $60 dinner, and then there was like a nicer dinner or something. We have 4. It's a family of 4, but like whatever you have. So now you're up here. As you're watching this, I don't think you need to be in your budget sheet daily, but you want to be in here. You want to be up to and be like, oh, we're hit our budget. Why? Because this number is a number that's going to fluctuate, and suddenly, like, in this budget, this person only really has 154 extra bucks. So if this becomes, if you go out again and you put plus 50, well, suddenly your budget's going to start having a problem. And actually, what'll happen is sometimes, if you're starting to go over and you want to see, you could be like, hey, what happens if this is 940? If I bump this, it's over, right? I don't have anything really smart in here where like auto does it or that kind of thing. It's just, you want to be thinking about it. Same sort of thing. I always think you need to have other expenses, whether it's $600, $200, $300. There's always other expenses. And this is also where fun money comes out, or medical, or maybe, you go to have a regular medicine expenses, or chiro and physical stuff, or like chiropractics, or like, you want to have some fun money. This is where, I don't know why I didn't do it, but you could say board games, right? Like, I want a budget of, I don't know. I have a $50 board game budget a month, and I have like a $50 Kickstarter budget, right? And you add that in. And now this is updated here, which gets updated here. So then as you're doing this, you're going to do the totals. Again, the other expenses I tend to do as this, you know, plus this, plus this. I have done ones. If I feel like I want to be more particular in here, you can just add in more lines, and then don't do other expenses. Just be particular. You just want to capture it all. And over time, you're going to see how well you do it. So once I'm going to erase this up, but let's say I was reasonably accurate here. Let's say I was dead on with everything. So this all gets updated. Okay, let's say I was here, but like here, let's say I went over. So here we did 500, and then I ate too much, 500, and then everything here was what we expected. Well, so what this is now filled out, and what it now tells me is, well, my actual income was what I didn't earn any. Oh, let's say I earned $50. Let's go here. So I actually earned a little more than expected. Cool, but I was more expensive, right? And so what you do here once you have that is you take this. I don't like to do this early because it can confuse you, but you then just drag this over here. So you're taking this formula and you're dragging it over. Another way you can do that, if that's weird, is you can copy it and then paste special formula only. So the point here is, actually, I started with 5,230, but now I've went down because that's this. If I this minus this, if I just want to do this quickly, but just to check my thing, this minus this equals 145.43, and then this minus this should equal the same, right? Or whatever. But like that gives you the that you lost money that month. That's a problem. You got to think about that. Maybe you need to look at what your expenses are. But once you do this, then your estimated was there, but now your actual, this goes to here, and then you move along as you go. So that's really it. I admit I am not in this budget as much anymore. Whenever I feel like we're starting to, like there are times when I'm like, I feel like we're overspending. Like I'll pull it out and we'll use it again. But I want to say for 5 to 10 years, this was pretty much, and it's evolved over time, and I've updated it over time, but this was pretty much a budget system that I used to with our family to maintain it, and I would review it with my wife, and we'd walk through it, and at times I think showed portions to the kids or discussed certain aspects of it with the kids. I don't know that we showed them everything, but I can't stress it enough. If this is too complicated, you don't have, just move it around, but seeing your budget, thinking about it in advance, and seeing how you do against it is a huge part of understanding stability and understanding what your needs are. And so that goes into starting a business or a Kickstarter. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If I should add or subtract anything, I'm happy to, but otherwise, there you have it. This is your family budget.
Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.